Guys, I have what may be a very unpopular opinion. For anyone that knows the channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of solar stuff, portable power stations, batteries, you name it, I love it. And I feel like we all need to be prepared for emergencies, grid down situations, as well as just insulate us against the insane rising prices of energy. But my unpopular opinion is for those of you that they're just barely starting, you don't own a power station, you don't own a battery, you don't own a generator, and that opinion is, I think you should buy a dual fuel gas generator like this before you even do anything with solar. Shocking coming from me, right? And there may be certain situations where that may not apply very well, but I think for the vast majority of us it will, and let me elaborate. Portable power stations like this EcoFlow right here are fantastic. I love them. And I do think everyone should have one, but they have limited capacity. And yes, you can hook up 400 watts of solar to this particular model. There are other ones that you can hook up more solar to, but some of us have limited space. Some of us may not want to purchase massive solar arrays, and then let's not forget that potentially when you need it most, there may be clouds or snow or who knows what blocking the sun. So if you have something that will run anytime, nighttime, daytime, cloudy, stormy, whenever, I think that's invaluable. Now, before everyone starts going off in the comments saying, you gotta, store fuel and, sunlight is unlimited, la 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 la. Yes, I totally get that. So that's why I think the ultimate is actually to pair a gas generator, but not just any gas generator, a dual fuel gas generator with a portable power station or some kind of battery backup system. And then you have the best of both worlds. Then you can tap into some solar power when you have it some, but then you've also got the gas alternative when needed. And dual fuel is the way to go, I think, because I can store liquid propane forever and ever, basically, and never have it go bad compared to gasoline. I want to pitch this particular generator to you. I'm a big Honda fan. I own a number of Honda generators, love them to pieces. And I even did a propane conversion on them. And I'll leave a link to that video down in the description so you can check it out. But I think this generator here brings a lot to the table that a lot of you are looking for. It's a 4,000 watt generator for one thing. Obviously, it's dual fuel. But then it has some niceties on it. I'm going to go into depth on testing all of this stuff, but it has electric start with app control. So when the wind is howling or and it's freezing outside or whatever, you don't have to go outside anymore to start your generator. You can literally do it with the push of a button on the app. It's still lightweight and easy to move around. You can get an expansion accessory gas tank for it, so you can get insane long run times on gasoline if you so chose. It comes from the factory ready to go with propane. It's quiet, so it packs a lot of amazing things into a small package for a really good price point, I think. So let me show you why you should consider this before potentially even considering a power station. But be sure and watch until the end, because I'm going to show you the ultimate combo of why I think everyone should actually own both. Let's unbox this generator from MaxPeedingRods. There's a standard 120 volt, just standard plug. And then these look to be like 30 amp twist lock to the standard 30 amp RV plug. And then this is 30 amp twist lock to allow you to fabricate your own cable, just like this little guy here. Next, we've got kind of this cool oil fill flexible funnel. And then it comes with a baggie of tools. Next, we have a pretty decent length propane hose. We've got the regulator built into it on the end right here. So you also get this really nice cover for your generator, so you can kind of store it and keep dust and whatnot off of it. And then usually companies will charge you extra for this, but MaxPeedingRods sends you in the box a parallel kit, so you can easily parallel two of the generators together. And then last but certainly not least, the generator itself. Got some documentation as well hooked up. The gas tank right here on the top. Got a little gas filter screen down in there, which is nice. We've got our fuel on-off switch. We have the recoil starter, but this obviously comes with electric start, which is one of the big selling points for it. And there is a lot going on out here in the front. We have an on-off switch for a light bar that's right here. I haven't hooked the battery up yet, so that's not going to light up. We have our fuel source selector switch. There's the propane inlet. We have a little display here, as well as a fuel gauge, and then a power gauge over here, so you know how heavily loaded the generator is. Start-stop button, a USB Type A and a USB Type C port. And then this is your twist lock 30 amp 120 volt plug. It does say down here that it has a floating neutral. We have a resettable circuit breaker right here, a 20 amp 120 volt plug. You have your main on-off switch down here, Place to officially hook up an earth ground. These two plugs right here are your paralleling plugs. And on gasoline, it's rated with starting watts of 4,000 and running watts 3,200. And on propane, starting watts of 3,600 with 3,000 running watts. Very impressive with how close the running watts are to each other. Usually I see more of a D rate on propane. Anyway, we'll be testing it. And here's the sticker with all the specs. So feel free to pause if you need to take a look at that. And over here on this side, we do have our little access port for the spark plug that's down in there. And the back end just has a lot of ventilation and spark arresting features. So I just removed the side panel here that's common with the spark plug, and this gives you easy access to fill your oil. And there's also two important things. There's a little wire right here with a cap on it, and there should be another one. Yeah, there it is. You've got to plug these two things in, and that will allow you to utilize your electric start. But first, I got to fill up the oil quick. All right, got it filled right up to the threads there is what you want. And you can also see I got my electric connection here too. Turn the main switch on, and there we go. We've got power. So can we turn the light on? Yes. That's deluxe, just on off, which I like. It can give you a digital readout there for fuel if we're going to use gas, but we're actually going to use propane. And then this tells you how heavily loaded it is. It's highly unfortunate that you have to create like an actual account to get this app to work. I'd much prefer if there was just kind of a guest mode or something where you could just log in, control your device, and not necessarily need to create an account. But nonetheless, created an account. Let's go ahead and hit add device. We're going to add a generator, and looky there, it found it. So let's tap on it here. It says it's being added right now, and it's been added successfully. Let's go ahead and hit done. Let's see if it connects here. And here we go. So it looks like we got a reading here up at the top in watts. It's pretty cool, so you can see how much power you're pulling from it. You can see the percentage of fuel remaining if you're using gasoline. You can see the voltage, you can see your frequency, and here's your remote start, and you can toggle the eco mode off and on. So we'll test this here. Let's get some fuel hooked up. Okay, I've got the propane hooked up here. My understanding is we just need to turn this to an on position, doesn't matter which one, and then we will come and turn the main switch on. Make sure our fuel selector switch is moved to the LP portion. Low idle is turned off. And you know, we gotta try the app. This is the first time it's been started, so we'll see. It may take a few tries. And there it goes. Fired right up. Surprisingly quiet, actually. I was expecting it to be louder. Now it has no load on it. Let's try turning eco on. And see, that got even quieter. Very impressed so far. And we can see we've got voltage, frequency. Let's test that voltage just for fun. So yeah, it's putting out 123.9. So there's 124. So what it was saying in the app is spot on. And then for fun, let's just try turning it off with the app. How cool is that? Now, quick thing I need to insert here before we get into the testing. Recognize I'm only using propane for this test, so we're going to have less capacity, and also the generator won't function quite as well as it might otherwise function because I don't live at sea level, and generators derate as you go up in elevation. I live at about 4,000 feet above sea level, so we're going to get a little bit of a derated performance out of this, compared to optimal specs operating at sea level. I've got a sweet setup here. So obviously we're connected to propane, and then I've got a 30 amp extension cord, and it's coming over here, and it's coming into the garage here, up this cable, straight into my charge verter here. I've got my Epic Tower of Power here, and I'm going to just put a nice heavy load on that generator through this charge verter, and we'll see how this MaxPeedingRods generator performs under load. So this time let's try the push button start. I'm going to turn it on low idle. Okay, so the generator should be able to handle the entire power this EG4 charge verter can pull at 120 volts. So let's just try turning it on and see what happens. So we're ramping up, 27, 28 amps, 29, 33. This is power going into the battery. So if we look at the watts from the generator, you can see we're 2,200, 2,300, almost 2,400 watts. We're pushing 40 amps into the batteries. Let's go check out the generator. So it's considerably louder now. It has a load on it. Hopefully you can hear me. If you look, we've got it rated to 75% load. Let's see if we can put a little more load on it. Okay, so we're currently sitting at 40 amps. Let's see if we can load this generator up a little more. Let's do 45 amps. See if we can get it to 100% on that power meter out there. So something kind of cool about the charge inverter is it slowly ramps the power up. So you're not hitting the generator with a super heavy load, which I really like. You can see on the generator app here, we're climbing. This should push the generator to its limit as far as power that it can produce at my elevation and on propane. So watch this as it goes. We're at 23, 24, the wattage is climbing, 1,500, 1,600, 30 amps, 33, 34, over 2,100 now, almost 2,200 watts. Can we make it to 3,000? I doubt it, because I'm not at sea level. And there it cut out right there. See it drop? And the charge inverter kind of dropped out and then lowered its current so that it would work. So that's really not too bad, considering that I'm at like a 4,000 foot elevation. So I'm not going to get the same performance as I would off propane at sea level. So I think the load display here is probably more accurate when it's running on gasoline, just because it has a little more oomph to it, right? Because I was overloading this as soon as I hit like 75-ish% on propane. Let's do heavy surge testing next on this MaxPeedingRods dual fuel generator. I've got a 15,000 BTU portable air conditioner, but it's got similar guts to, say, a rooftop air conditioner on an RV. This has no kind of soft start or anything, so it's going to just kind of gut punch this generator, and we'll see if this is able to start it or not. Let's go ahead and start this. Okay, you can see that eco mode is turned off. I'm going to leave you trained on this display so you can see if it turns off because of an overload. Ooh, it struggled there, but it did it. But this is starting to get cold, so it did manage to start this 15,000 BTU air conditioner. No eco throttle. All right, test number 2 with the surge load. Let's just see if it's at all possible for this generator, as you can see I've got it on eco mode, to start this without turning eco mode off. I doubt it, but let's see. Once again, I'm going to train you guys on this screen. Overload. He's going to try again, but I heard him turn it off. So that did overload it with eco mode on, and that's not a surprise. The poor generator can't spin up fast enough to meet the demand of the surge load. Now, there's a very cool way to get around this, and that is to use a DC conversion process and utilize a high-powered inverter to take care of the surge loads so that your generator can just work very smoothly and efficiently. I'll be sure and leave a link to that video down in the description, as well as a card here in the top right, so you can check that out, because that solves a lot of issues for RV people in particular. And then of course, this test with this generator wouldn't be complete if we didn't pair it with a power station. And that's one of the benefits of this style generator. It's an inverter generator, so it produces a very clean sine wave. And so it's safe to charge devices that have a whole bunch of computer gear inside of it off something like this that produces a clean sine wave. So this is an EcoFlow Delta 2. I've got its charging speed all the way up to its max. So we should be able to just plug this in. We are on eco throttle right here. Hopefully you can see we're pulling just over 1,000 watts, and it's a walk in the park for this generator. So the name of the game is flexibility. Solar is great and all, and I'm a huge supporter of it, but there's always either the storm that is providing heavy cloud cover over the sun so you can't get good solar generating capability, and you just need some power. You gotta have a dual fuel generator, I think. And like I said at the beginning, I think you gotta have one of these before you start investing in anything solar, but then quickly get at least a power station, so that way you can do what I'm doing here. Run the generator for a minute, charge up the power station really fast, and then go ahead and shut the generator off, save a whole bunch of fuel, and let the power station, run the light prolonged loads, so that way you're not just sitting here quote unquote idling, burning a ton of fuel. That's going to give you the best combination of functionality combined with fuel economy. But feel free to disagree in the comments. I'm all ears. And leave your thoughts on this MaxPeedingRods dual fuel generator. I think it is sweet. Did really, really well in the testing. If you're a Honda boy like me, do you think this would convert you over? I'll tell you what, I'd buy this in a heartbeat. Links to it are down in the description, so be sure and check them out. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hype. The 5 free things that really benefit the channel. I love bringing this free content to you guys. Please reciprocate and do those 5 free things to help me out in the algorithm. I sure appreciate all of you. Stay safe, and we'll catch y'all next time.